Hello and welcome to this, our first of the series of tutorials on cinematography with Paul Howard. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Phil.
I guess we're going to go through some of the basics of camera and cinematography, but I think the first thing I should probably ask is, what is a cinematographer?
Well, a cinematographer's role is mainly camera and lighting. So they liaise with the director and they work out exactly what kind of shot to do when, and the director, the DP then goes and works out the infrastructure for that. If he's got a camera operator, he'll get the camera operator in there and get the gaffer to organise where the lighting is going to best suit the shot.
Now you said DP, that means Director of Photography?
It does. It's an American term that Australians are using a lot more. Now in Australia for a long time we use DOP, Director of Photography. So the profession is cinematography, so you are a cinematographer. A DOP or Director of Photography is a title that's mainly used on drama or feature films, but you know also more so now these days in terms of commercials. You know, to define the fact that you're in charge of the camera and the lighting. You may or may not have an operator, camera operator.
So sometimes you're just in charge of the lighting, which I think is the case more in the UK, yes?
Well,
and they're not an operator so much.
Yeah, you're not an operator, but in terms of you are in charge of the look.
Yeah.
And so therefore you're going to tell the camera operator where to put the camera, and you're going to tell the gaffer, you're going to discuss with the gaffer where to put the lights, what type of lights to use, what type of lens to put on the camera. After you've discussed all of that with the director in terms of what shot you're covering and how you're going to do it.
So if the Director of Photography is in charge of all that on a feature film, for example, sometimes I've heard it used that a cinematographer is more the term used for documentary camera people.
It can be, yeah. I've also heard that term used here for lighting cameraman. But lighting cameraman is mainly a term used in the UK, as I say.
Does that mean the same thing basically though?
Yeah, it all means a very similar thing, yeah. I mean, you'll be defined by, if you're a camera operator, you'll be called a camera operator. Right. But a DP is the Director of Photography, yeah.
So the DP, DOP, cinematographer, whatever you want to call him, he's the head of the camera department, effectively, yeah?
Camera and lighting department.
Camera and lighting.
Yeah.
And so beneath him, what are the various roles that he might be in charge of?
Well, the camera department would be the focus puller, and depending on how many other assistants, these days you might have data wrangler or clip loader. You might have more assistants depending on how many cameras you've got on. On a shoot, you'll have operators or an operator.
Unless he's operating himself.
Unless he's operating himself, yeah, which depends on the type of job. It really depends on the type of job. You might be running two cameras and therefore you'll have another operator and you'll operate one yourself.
And then there's the gaffer.
There's gaffer, and then he'll have best boy, which is his right-hand man, and then you'll have electrics after that. And grips.
Are they technically camera department or something else?
No, grips are the camera support. So whatever goes underneath the camera, whether it's a shot bag to an enormous Lumar crane or whatever, that's what the gripping department does. They also can be in charge of things like blacking out windows and building rigs for different things. Again, the DP's in charge of them in terms of what he says goes, or she says goes.
So these are all people that help enable the DOP to do his job, her job.
Yeah.
So what's the relationship then between the DP and the director usually?
Hopefully very cohesive.
In terms of, you might get some directors that are very, have a clear vision, they know how they want things to look, and the DP, I presume, you've talked about the lighting, but they're also very much in charge of how the shot is framed, how the camera moves.
Depends. I've worked with different directors. Some directors are just really focused on performance, which obviously I love because, I have no say in that. And what I realise is, you can be the best cinematographer in the world, but if the performance is not being looked after, it's not going to help the performance to have it beautifully shot. Obviously, when they're married together, it's an awesome experience, and that's what the filmmaking part of it is. But the relationship, the DP's director with the relationship is an extremely important one for both of them to realise the director's ultimate vision. I'm just a character in the film, like the look of it is just a character, and just as important as the sound, just as important as a whole bunch of other elements that all come together.
The other main one is production design, another whole department that contributes to that look.
Yeah, absolutely, and all equally important. And it's awesome when it all works together very well to bring the director's vision, to life. But some directors, they'll get right in behind the camera and they go, no, I want it framed here, or yes, please, up around here, the camera move is from here to here. Some will have it very technically planned out. Others won't so much. They might kind of just want a different, more of a busking kind of feel to it,
So some directors might have a very clear idea of what they want the camera to do. If they don't, then they rely more on the DP to help make those choices for them. Yeah?
Sometimes, yeah. And sometimes, you know, I've worked with directors who just love the organic energy that comes out of being in the space and you know, the way the particular light is happening at the time. And I enjoy all of those kind of experiences because it's all part of it, yeah.
All right. We're going to move on with our future tutorials. We'll get a bit more hands-on with the cameras and tripods and things like that. But that's the end of our introduction to what is a cinematographer. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.